And I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today we'll be doing our grade 3 English lesson on to be and to have. So we'll be doing our grade 3 English lesson on to be and to have. And before we start with our grade 3 English lesson on to be and to have, we're going to log into aplusstudents.ca. Once you've logged into aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of language arts. Grade 3. Once you selected the subject of language arts, grade 3, then we're going to scroll down up until we get to our chapter of to be and to have. So we're going to find out basically what is to be and what is to have and how we can basically use that, or let's say how we can use the correct form. All right. So our chapter is English Language Arts. Sorry, the chapter is to be and to have. The subject is English, which is language arts, grade 3. And the lessons that we're going to be focusing on today under the chapter of to be and to have is to be and to use the correct form, to have and to use the correct form. And we are doing our tutorial lesson on aplusstudents.ca. So we're doing our tutorial lesson on aplusstudents.ca. All right, so when it comes to be and to have, right? So it's basically to do with verbs, right? So it's to do with verbs. And the verb to be is irregular, right? So which means that we don't just follow the normal pattern of the verb or something ending in either ed or something like that, right? So the verb is irregular. And it does not follow the rules that most of the verbs follow. So you're just going to have to remember the form. So the verb is irregular and it does not follow the rules that most of the verbs follow. So you're just going to have to remember the form, right? And if we look at a few examples of to be, right? So to be and to have, it's like, for example, saying I am or I was, that's in the present, right? Or in the past. When you make mention of you, right? If we use the subject you, then in the present we can say you are. In the past we say you were. If we use the subject he, she, or it, right, referring to, let's say, one person or thing, then we say he, she, or it is in the present tense or was in the past tense. Now, if we refer to more than one person, right? It's plural. Then we say we are in the present tense and we were in the past tense. As you can see, this twice they use you twice, right? Because you can be used in a it can be used as a singular form, right? Referring to one person, or it can refer to more than one person. It's like saying you, but referring to more than one. It's like you're pointing to a group of people. So we can say to you are or you were, right? And that refers to more than one person. And the same with they are, they were. And then we have the same with to have, right? So to be and to have. So to have is where we either use have or has. So it's like if we make mention of the subject I, then we can say I have in the present tense or I had in the past tense. You have, you had, right? So it's either we use have or had. If we make mention of the subject he, she, or it, then we say he, she has, like now, in the present tense. And in the past, had, right? So those are basically words where we can use to be verbs as well as to have verbs. And if we look at a few examples, right? It's like saying, I am happy, you are happy, he or she or it is happy, we are happy. These are examples of to be, right? He, she, it is happy because you're referring to one person. And then to have, we use words like I have, you have, he or she has, right? So now we're going on to our tutorial lesson on aplusstudents.ca. And we're going to the first lesson that is to be, where we use the correct form. So to be, right? So the verb to be is irregular. Remember when we say the verbs are irregular, then it means that they do not follow regular verb forms or regular rules like other verbs do. So it doesn't follow the rules that most of the verbs follow. You just have to remember the form. And if we look at the subject I, right, then we can say either I am in the present tense or I was in the past tense, right? I am going to the shop, that is now. Or if you went to the shop already, you can say I was at the shop. That is when we use the word, the subject I, and we use the form of verb, either am or was. Then if we maybe use the subject he, she, or it, right, referring to one person, we can say Either he is or she is or it is, right? That is in the present tense. He is eating, right? It's something that he's doing now. She is cleaning her room. It is barking, right? For the neighbors. And in the past tense, we can say he was eating. She was cleaning her room. It was barking at the neighbors. And if we use the subject you, we, and they, this is not in the plural form, then we use the present tense are. So if we use the subject they, then we can say they are. And in the past tense, we say they were. All right, so that is basically the verb form of to be, right? So where we either use words like the is or am or are and was in the past tense. So now if we complete the sentence with the correct past tense form of to be, right? So complete the sentence with the correct past tense form of to be. So if we look at the sentence, it says Patrick in the canoe on the lake. So we need to now use Patrick is. Do we say Patrick is, or do we say Patrick was in the canoe on the lake? So is or was. So we need to choose one of these. So if we look at the past tense form of to be, then we can say Patrick was in the canoe on the lake because it shows the past tense. If we had to say Patrick is, then it means that it was in the present tense. And was correct or is correct. All right, so now we need to complete the sentence with the correct present tense form of to be. Something that is happening now, right? In the present. All right, they, do we say they are or they were outside in the fort? This is in the present tense. So we need to either say if they are or they were in the fort. So either need to say if they are or they were. So we need to choose either they are outside in the fort or they were. We need to choose the correct one. So if we look at the sentence, right, and we complete the sentence with the correct present tense form of to be, right, then we can say they are. And yes, are is correct. So they are outside in the fort. Are shows that it is in the present tense. It's something that they're doing now. And the answer is are, which is correct. So well done. We need to complete the sentence with the correct past tense form of to be. Do we say we are or we were busy reading when the telephone rang? So do we say we are or do we say we were busy reading when the telephone rang? This is now in the past tense. In the past. So we need to choose the correct form of the verb. All right, so if we choose the correct one, we can say we were because it shows the past tense. So we were busy reading when the telephone rang. And were is correct. They were is correct. So well done. So now let's go on to our test. We need to complete the sentence with the correct present tense form of to be. We need to either say they are or they am outside in the fort. They are or they am outside in the fort. So it's either they are or they am outside in the fort. All right, so if we choose the correct one, then yes, we can say they are outside in the fold because it's something that they are doing now. They are outside, right? So are is the correct form of the verb to be. So well done. Are is correct. We need to complete the sentence with the correct past tense form of the word to be. Past tense. Happened in the past. Do we say you were or you was the star player in the game against the Eagles? You were or you was the star player in the game against the Eagles? I remember when we use the word you can either refer to as one person or you can be referred to as more than one person. When we refer to it as more than one person, it's almost like you're pointing to a group of people. So instead of saying you guys over there, we just say you. Or you can just refer to one person. So we can say you were the star player in the game against the Eagles. You were the star player in the game against the Eagles. And were is correct. Now, if we look at the sentence over here, it says complete the sentence with the correct present tense form of to be. So, complete the sentence with the correct present tense form of to be. He is or he are so excited about the trip to Mars. So, he is or he are so excited about the trip to Mars. So, he is or he are. So if we choose the correct form, we can say he is so excited about the trip to Mars. So is correct. So well done. Is correct. So we need to complete the sentence with the correct form or correct present tense form of the word to be. We are usually on vacation for the whole month of August, or we am usually on vacation for the whole month of August. So either we are or we am usually on vacation for the whole month of August. And if we choose the correct one, we can say we are, because that's the present tense form. We are on, we are we are usually on vacation for the whole month of August. And that is correct. R is correct, which was the first one. Now we need to complete the sentence with the correct past tense form of the verb to be. You, do we say you was or you were curled up under your blanket last year? You was or you were curled up under your blanket last night. So you was, sorry, or you were curled up under your blanket last night. And if we choose the correct form, we can say you were curled up under your blanket last night. Were. And were is correct. So well done. And then now we need to complete the sentence with the correct past tense form of to be. The past tense form of to be. Do we say we were busy reading when the telephone rang or we was busy when the telephone rang? So we were busy reading when the telephone rang or we was busy when the telephone rang? So we need to complete the sentence with the correct past tense form of to be. We were or we was busy reading when the telephone rang. And if we choose the correct one, we can say we were, because we refers to plural forms, like more than one person. So we were busy reading when the telephone rang, and were is correct. So well done, guys. So that was basically the lesson on to be and to use the correct form of the verb to be, right? So now we're going on to have and to use the correct form of to have. And now the verb to have is irregular. So the verb to have is irregular, right? And it does not follow the rules that most of the verbs follow. You're just going to have to remember the forms. So we either use have, had, or has, right, in the sense to either show the present tense or to show the past tense. In the past tense, we will say have, had, had for both plural as well as for the singular subject. So if we make mention of, say, if we say I, you, we, or they, referring to it in the plural form, we can say I have, you have, we have, and they have. But in the past tense, we say had, right? And then for example, if we refer to he, she, or it, then we say he, she, or it has something now. But in the past, they had. And if we look at the sentence, it says complete the sentence with the correct past tense form of to have. So last night, do we say I had, or do we say I have, or I has a hard time falling asleep? So do I say I had, I has, or I have had a hard time falling asleep? All right, so if we choose the correct one, we can say last night I had a hard time falling asleep. So I had a hard time falling asleep, and had is correct. So had is correct. We need to complete the sentence with the correct present tense form of to have. Do we say they have, or they has, or even they had the funniest costumes in the school? They have, they had, or they has the funniest costumes in the school. We're referring to more than one person. Remember, if we use the word had, then had is in the past tense. So we need to say the correct word in the present tense. Present tense. So if we choose the correct one, we can say they have the funniest costumes in the school. So they have the funniest costumes in the school. Have. So have is correct. Remember, had is in the past tense. Had is in the past tense. Now we need to complete the sentence with the correct past tense form of to have. Past tense. Do we say he has, he have, or he had already cooked the chicken when Amanda arrived? So we need to complete the sentence with the correct past tense form of to have. The past tense. So if we choose the correct word, or let's say the verb form or the form of to have, then we can say he had, because it shows the past tense, had already cooked the chicken with when Amanda arrived. And had is correct. So well done, guys. So now we're going on to our test. We're going on to our test. It says we need to complete the sentence with the correct present tense form of to have. So present tense form of to have. So we need to find the present tense. Is it what a surprise I has for you or I have for you? What a surprise I has for you or I have for you? Has or have for you? Remember, we use has if we refer to it as he has, she has, it has. But in this case, we say, what a surprise I for you. Is it I has for you or I have for you? So we need to complete the in the present tense form. So if we choose the correct one, we can say, what a surprise I have for you. So what a surprise I have for you. And have is correct. So well done. Have is correct. Now we need to complete the sentence with the correct past tense form of to be. The past tense. So we say she in the past tense. She had or she has pen pals in Italy and England. So we need to use the past tense for. Do we say she had or she has pen pals in Italy and England? The past tense. In the past. And if we choose the correct one, we can say she had pen pals in Italy and in England. So had is our correct form. Now we need to complete the sentence with the correct present tense form of to have. The present tense form of to have. He has a good part in the play, or he have a good part in the play. So we can say he has a good part in the play. So he has, and that is a present tense form of to be. Then we need to choose again between have and had by choosing the correct present tense form of to have. Do we say they have or they had the funniest costumes in school? So we can say they have the funniest costumes in the school. So have is the correct form. Let's do one more and then we're ending our class. We need to complete the sentence with the correct present tense form of to be. The present tense form. It says, I have finished my maths homework, or I had finished my math homework. We need to say if the sentence is in the present tense. Which one is in the present tense? Is it I have finished my math homework or I had? So if we choose the correct one, we can say I have finished my math homework. Because remember, we are using it in the present tense. In the present tense, I have finished my math homework. All right, so that is basically the end of our lesson on the chapter to be and to have, right? And we identified basically verbs in the under to be and to correct and to use the correct form, as well as to have and to use the correct form. So I really hope that they do understand and know the distinction, the extinct to distinguish between have, had, and has. All right, so I really hope that you're going to have a good day further, grade threes. Thank you very much for joining our lessons. Goodbye.